Today on Sunyshore Station, we discuss our predictions for Pokemon Legends ZA. Let's get into it. It's always sunny at Sunyshore Station.
How's it going, everyone? Fus Force back again with another episode of Sunyshore Station. And today, I'm joined by the Pokemon champion himself, Tylerthegrey.
Oh boy! I got such the title on this one as well. I was Avatar and Pokemon champion, and I don't know what's coming next.
And today, guys, we are talking about Pokemon Legends ZA. This has been recently announced, and the hype is kind of real. I just wanted to have an episode talking about my thoughts and piggyback off of Tyler's expectations, and just have a quick discussion about this. It's not going to be really much of anything other than just speculation and hopes and prayers, right?
Oh yeah.
You ready to get into it, buddy?
Yes indeed.
Pokemon Legends. I think that Power World gave them a lot of pressure. Because if you want my honest opinion, I think it's not what they had planned to tell us on Pokemon Day. And I have a theory. That it was another Ilka game, and it might have been because there was this picture of Chibi in like the same kind of style as Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and it's in from Pokemon Black and White, and that was floating around the internet like a week before. And then I think they changed gears and shifted because that trailer didn't really give us much. It gave us like a concept. There was not even like gameplay shown there. If you look at the Pokemon Legends Arceus trailer compared to this one, the announcement trailer, vastly different. They had like a whole thing going on. They had like a whole like, here's the premise. It was awesome.
This one was more like the Skyrim 2.
The announcement trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 just said the name Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, exactly.
To be announced,
That's what it felt like, on this a little bit.
I genuinely think my theory is that Power World made them shift gears, and they said, nah, let's not give them another piece of trash. We're not going to have people buying this if we do.
Said, hold my beer.
Yeah, right. And they said, they want Legends? We'll give you Legends. We're going to head back to the Kalos region, and apparently it's taking place, Tyler, just so you know, it's apparently taking place in Lumio City. The entire game is in one city.
Better be big.
It's going to be massive. Lumio City on the 3DS was the largest city that they had ever made. So now that they actually have the biggest engine that they can on the Switch, I think this is going to be a massive, massive map. And it's about the expansion. Now, they haven't announced if it's in the past or in the future yet. I think it'd be really cool is if it was past and future.
Like a time travel type thing?
Like they did in Scarlet and Violet.
So you could have this, like a city, everything around it, and like go back into the future and it'd be like, oh, that'd be interesting, actually. That would work out very well.
Because the Paradox forms in Scarlet and Violet, they could also include new Paradox forms. Rather than Hisuian forms like in Legends Arceus, they could do new Paradox forms. And they could have past Pokemon and future Pokemon and talk about like the expansion and changing the future. Maybe this expansion, if you change it, can alter the future in some way. Make other Pokemon spawn or something, like your actions in the present.
Now I'm just going to be disappointed if it's not like that.
Right? I don't know, though. They didn't really give us much other than this is the Lumio City expansion plan. Since it's a massive city, though, we could potentially have gardens of Pokemon. We could have sewers of Pokemon, skies above Pokemon. So it's going to be massive. We're going to have all different kinds of things, and I'm hoping some rich story. And they need to do something with Zygarde. My biggest complaint with Gen 6 is that we kind of rushed through it. There wasn't really much going on, And Zygarde and Pokemon Z just didn't exist. Legends ZA, they're giving us Pokemon Z that we finally deserve. And we're giving more attention to a Pokemon that needs more attention. Zygarde's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Perfect Cell. He has that 10% form, the 50% form, and his perfect form is 100% form. And it kind of looks like Cell a little bit. I'm thinking that maybe he's still imperfect. And we have to
Make him so,
yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm hoping they give him an incredible storyline. Zygarde deserves a little bit of love.
That'd be cool, though. Like, you would be sent on different types of, little kind of quests in a way.
Yeah.
To be like, all right, we got to go get this for Zygarde, right? You said Zygarde?
Zygarde, yep.
Kind of going back and forth between the past and the present because it can't really get it in either the past or the present
Or the future.
at that point. So so like you could be jumping in between all these different time periods, finding things that weren't available in other time periods.
And we know that this is Pokemon Legends has this crafting system. Like, if it's really cool. It's very intuitive. Maybe we know that crafting system is probably going to come back because it was so popular. Maybe certain materials are only in the past and in the future.
Yeah.
And we know for a fact that time travel does exist in the Pokemon world. We have time travel Pokemon like Celebi. We have the Pokemon of Time, Dialga. And then we have the actual time machine at the end of Scarlet and Violet. You know, like there's a physical time machine pulling Pokemon out of the past and pushing them into the future and things like that. It's a cool storyline. And if they build on that and they have other people researching time and playing with time, man, that would be so cool. It'd be really sick because it's only one map. So they're going to have to do something with it to make it dynamic and changing, because there's only so much you can do with just one map, you know?
Yeah, and I really like that idea if they do for time. Because, like, I mean, our Ocarina of Time Legend of Zelda game, it had that same vibe where it's like, well, this is this map, but also at the same time, it's pretty decently large.
It's different based off of what time you're in.
Yeah, you can do, like, different things that in the past that affect the future, like plant a seed here and come back later. Whoop-de-doo. I hope a little bit more in depth, but
the paradox with the Song of Storms.
Yeah.
Right? Give yourself the song and then teach it to your future self, but then you learned it from your what?
Oh, I forgot what that's called. That's
Bootstrap
that paradox has a name. Yeah.
I think that Legends has a unique opportunity here to build off of the cool story that was in Scarlet and Violet. So Scarlet and Violet could have been phenomenal had they performed, you know, better and you got more than 3 frames a second. But the story was incredible. They had a great premise. They had an awesome premise of past and future and time travel, and time travel's always fun. You know, time travel's great.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome to see another iteration of that, either in the past or in the future. All I know is that Legends has confirmed 2 things. Number 1, the map is one city. We're not leaving that city. We're in that city. It's going to be massive because Legends Arceus had these subsections. It was a great little thing. The second thing is Mega Evolution is appearing again. And I'm hoping there are going to be a lot more megas introduced. Not just them, okay, we're bringing the mechanic back for a little bit. Here you go. You know?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's true, like a massive dex of Mega Evolution, you know?
Well, they got to listen to their fans at this point. I mean,
they have been.
What was that famous quote or something from whoever's in charge of Game Freak or whatever it is? I don't know if it was a real quote or not, but it was just like, hey, you know what we do with all your suggestions? We go and read them aloud and laugh at them as hard as we can. You know, it's like, you know, like, well, we're not doing that. But it's like, now I think you're onto something with the Power World thing, because they need to really step it up, because Power World proved, I mean, it's not like Power World's super, super huge anymore at this point, but like...
But it was for a bit.
Yeah, it proved that people are not as loyal as they, you know, assumed they were. Like, their Pokemon fans are not as loyal as they assumed they were, because, like, you know, I mean, like... haven't gotten a bone in a while, like haven't been fed well in a while, you know. Even a dog will think twice about coming back in a way.
It boils down to that they have a whole team of people, and that the small indie development team created something that ran better and was more enjoyable than their most recent title.
Yeah.
So I think they are genuinely listening to what people want, because them bringing back Mega Evolution is just proof that they're listening, because people have been calling for this since Gen 6.
That is a good point, because you talked to me about that a little bit a while ago, I believe.
It's the most popular form of gimmick that they've done.
I want the world to look good in this one. The thing that really stopped me with Scarlet or Violet was the world just, it felt so empty. Like, it felt like you were like on Google Maps or something without the buildings turned on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems harsh, but at the same time, I like to be like captivated by a game. You know,
yeah.
I don't want to be thinking about anything else. I want to be like looking at this, and I'm sure if I really tried, I could get into it, but it's like, it just didn't feel right. And like the frame rate issues, and a lot of games on my phone run better. Like, I get 100 frames on Genshin on my phone, and it's like, what's going on here? what's happening, you know?
It's the old belief system that we have them hook, line, and sinker, and we don't have to try. They're gonna buy.
Also, if it is in the city, like you're saying it is in a city.
Yeah, that's been confirmed.
It'll be good to see what they're doing here, because I mean, you don't have to have as much in a city, in my head, in a way. You know, they've done it before, pretty fine, and it's like, you know, when I went in the countryside in Scarlet Violet, it's like, yikes, you know, there's nothing here. It's desolate in a way. It feels like, in a way, like I'm playing on low graphics on like PUBG or something, where you can see like one bush like 100 yards out. And then, like, over that way, there's the one other tree on the map over there.
If you want my genuine, like, actual prediction, I don't think the time travel thing, I think that's just a theory. I don't think that's actually going to happen. It would be cool if it did. I think we're going to start out just like we had in X and Y, a moderately big city, and all of this land that they're wanting to reclaim from the wild. And I think you're going to have to go and catch Pokemon to make construction projects happen, and you're building shops and building using your crafting skills to craft buildings and building the world around you, like a city development, and you can kind of place things where you want it. That would be amazing, like base building, you know?
That would be cool.
You have that center, because Lumio City was a circle, and that was what was cool about it, because it was like the first time that they had really a circular city, and there was all these subdivisions inside of it, and it led to the central, like Paris Eiffel Tower looking thing. It's the gym. I think that it's called the expansion project. So what they're going to do is they're going to expand the wild area around it, and you're going to have to reclaim it and craft using materials and catch the Pokemon in that area and get them to do certain tasks for you, kind of like Pal World, you know, get them to do these tasks and help you build things, and you get to like Sim City, like City Skylines kind of create it, you know? You can build a Pokemon gym or a Pokemon Center over here, or you can build like a mart over here. You know, how cool would that be?
That would be epic, man. And it could also lend itself to those types of games like Animal Crossing or something, where you're building like your custom city. Where it's like every city could be different. And that's, I mean, if they are going to be taking notes like that, they need to be doing just that, like having some custom ability to make the world your own. Because as we've seen, you give someone a few pieces of wood and some string in a survival game, and they'll build a freaking castle, my guy.
And in that kind of vein, too, if they borrow from Animal Crossing, people visiting your city.
Exactly.
That could be the multiplayer aspect. It doesn't have to be like battling and all this stuff. The multiplayer could be, come look at my Lumio city. Look what I built, you know? And there could be different rankings and challenges. Build a gym over here. Build a mart over here. Build 24 houses for people, you know?
Yeah.
And you can invite how cool would it be to have your friends, like you could build, like they could have houses in your city.
A tourist district of the city or
something?
Tourist
district. This is a little bit less Pokemon, but Legends is a little bit less Pokemon because it kind of reinvented the formula.
I was about to ask about that. So we are expecting this to be like play differently than most types of Pokemon, because Legends was different completely.
Yes, completely different. Now it has similarities, but the formula was thrown out the window. The whole get the badges, beat the evil team kind of thing.
Yeah.
This was you're taking part in history.
Yeah, I got you.
I think if they do this right, they're going to have a great game on their hands. If they've genuinely listened to fans, and Mega Evolution Research could be part of that. Expansion on Mega Evolution Research, and this can help you discover new Mega Stones, and like, you know, you build like this little thing, and your pals can help you discover new Megas and things like that. How cool would that be?
That would be cool. And I would safely say we could assume that the Switch is coming out sometime next year.
The next Switch? I think that this will be the last title on the Switch, the regular Switch.
But I'm interested to see, because they were saying about the next Switch, they want to have backwards compatibility, of course, and like they'll get upgrades. Yeah. The games will get upgrades to the next one. So it'll be interesting to see if it is a cross-platform, like onto the next one type thing.
I think this will be the last one. Then we'll get the new generation on the new Switch.
That'll be interesting.
Which I think would be better because it's time their hardware gets a little bit of an upgrade.
I'm actually getting excited about this game.
I have high hopes for it, and I think that they've been listening to the fans because they were not going to do another Legends game. I think Legends, genuinely, in my opinion, it was a test demo for Scarlet and Violet. in my opinion. It was, can the Switch handle this? And they did it in small little quadrants, right? And then they tried the open world thing. The quadrants worked better. Legends didn't drop frames. Open world Pokemon games don't need to be a thing. They don't need to be a thing. There's nothing wrong with a linear progression. There's nothing wrong with little subsections. But open world Pokemon games don't need to be a thing.
So you don't like the idea of like attacking a Pokemon randomly? You'd rather have it like do like the screen thing and then you're actually going into battle?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like the whole map being available to you. There needs to be a linear progression. There needs to be loading zones. Like, the whole thing being open world is limiting the hardware, and I think that Pokemon needs that linear progression a little bit more than other games.
It's pretty ballsy. I didn't realize the game was like that.
What? Scarlet Violet?
Yeah, I didn't realize that the whole world is accessible from like no loading areas besides inside.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Like, Skyrim doesn't even do that.
The only thing that you can't get to is things that are locked, like, by your ability to ride Koraidon and Miraidon.
Interesting.
But you can cheese your way. There are people that cheese their way by throwing the Pokeball and aiming at a Pokemon on a high ledge. You can cheese your way over by entering a battle. And people can get to like high level areas like immediately. You can get there. There's nothing stopping you other than your ability to get there. And if you can get a Pokemon to spawn there, you can have a battle. And I don't know, it just didn't work well. I mean, like the whole world being open, there needs to be loading zones. And that's why Legends work so well, is there are like separate like areas. They're large and they're vast and they're huge. And then there's this central hub that you go back to. And those loading zones made the game run smoother. And it was like, okay, I've unlocked this loading zone. I've unlocked this loading zone. And they're massive. I mean, like, you can go and explore as much as you want. Anything you can see, you can climb. You know, it's awesome. They weren't small by any means. It didn't need to be all connected. And I think that's the most important thing.
And that was Legends?
Legends Arceus, yeah. It was awesome. It didn't need it. But Scarlet and Violet, they tried to shove everything in one map. And if you're going to do that, you need to talk to the people at Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, because they know how to do that. You know, the whole world is... there's no loading zones there except for the shrines, you know, and the dungeons.
I just don't understand why it was such a hassle for them to develop it.
I just think that they didn't put the care they needed to into it because they got cocky. And I think Power World opened up their eyes. Pokemon has gotten lazy, and they're hearing the outcry, you know, the cries of the fans. And I think this is going to stop them from being lazy.
I think so, too.
They're really pulling out the stops with this. Mega Evolution, they totally didn't have to bring that back, but they totally are. Because technically, they could have rode with the terrestrialization kind of phenomenon that we have. You know, the Terra type still being a thing, but they chose Megas, and my God, am I happy. I'm hoping we get a Mega Mewtwo Z and Mega Charizard Z. So Mega Charizard X is the one that's in my logo, the one with the blue fire and all that.
Yeah.
It's stronger. It becomes a dragon type. It's a fire dragon type. And its attack stat is ridiculously strong. Mega Charizard Y looks a little bit more like regular Charizard, just like more spiky tendrils and more like Game of Thrones dragon.
I see.
And it's a special attacker, so Flamethrower is going to mess you up with that. And it gains a new ability. It gains solar power, so it can gain extra firepower, but it loses HP in the sun. It's really cool. They might not have regional variants. They might just really dig into the Mega Evolution and have a bunch of new Megas, which I'm fine with, because there's only like 50 Mega Evolutions.
Are they all like your main ones? Like
Charizard, Mewtwo, you know, Houndoom, Ampharos. Okay. You know, it's Pokemon that are kind of popular, and then there's some Pokemon that don't need one that have one, like Arduino, and it's weird. Mega Arduino is weird, but Mega Kangaskhan is amazing. Mega Kangaskhan, the baby Kangaskhan comes out of its pouch, and you get 2 attacks that round. That it's called Parental Bond. You attack. And then you attack again, but at half the damage because it's the baby attacking. It's awesome. And I can't wait for that to come back. Even if they only bring back their other ones, you know, it's still awesome to have the Megas back. And they really changed the game and made it fun. I'm hoping that they do something with the story that people enjoy. I'm hoping they do something. I have high hopes for it. And I'm afraid that we might be let down.
Yeah.
I think they're going in the right direction. And I think I can be hopeful. All these speculations and stuff like that, I'm not going to be mad if they don't do. I'm hoping that it's just enjoyable, because we need an enjoyable Pokemon experience after Scarlet and Violet. And if you are on that camp of defending Scarlet and Violet, You actually need help. I'm sorry. You actually need help because
That's rough, buddy.
it's rough. It's rough. Get this, man. I'm telling you. The game is great. The story is great. It's phenomenal. But if it's broken and it's unplayable, I don't care how good the story is. It doesn't matter. A bad game is a bad game. If it plays poorly, no one is going to spend the time to suffer through it just for the story. I'm just going to look it up online. Just like Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Terrible game. I just looked it up online, all the movies. Like the movies of all the cutscenes. I'm not going to sit there and suffer through poor gameplay. I'm just going to look it up.
Yeah, I mean, we're not telling you y'all can't like it. I mean, you if you want to like it,
I'm telling you can't like it.
That's all on you.
I'm kidding. You can like it. You're entitled to your opinion. You're just also entitled to be wrong.
No, yeah, it's just definitely not a cup of tea for me.
No,
I will tell you that. I don't like it.
I'm a freaking Pokemon advocate,
times.
dude. I did Pokemon only for a long time on YouTube. And I stan Pokemon like crazy. I am almost 28 years old and still playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to defend it, man.
Yeah.
I'm finding myself going back and playing Black and White. I'm going back and playing Fire Red Leaf Green, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I'm not going back and playing Scarlet and Violet again. I haven't touched it since the DLC was finished.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'm going back and playing Emerald again. Who cares?
If you just think about it for a sec, you can go through YouTube or Twitch right now and find like Nuzlocke or Shiny Lock. I don't know all the lock names, but you can find all of them. And they're just the older games.
They're the older games.
And it's like they don't miss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am very interested in Legends if they do that city building type thing.
That'd be awesome.
Oh man. This is the first Pokemon game I've actually been excited about in recent memory.
If they do it right, they're going to regain the love and support from their fans. But if it's another dumpster fire, people are still going to buy, but people are going to be very, 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 very off-put by it. And all it takes is just a couple more bad entries until the fandom evaporates. Because Pokemon, It's popular, but if it can't maintain its numbers, it's not going to be the popular thing forever. I don't know, man.
It might just turn into those cult type games where it's like everyone always just plays the old ones.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that was a pretty good discussion on this. I don't really have much more to say about it. Do you have any closing thoughts that you want to make? Shorter episode, I know, but it's kind of good to be brief and to the point with this kind of thing because we don't know much about this. We don't even know what it looks like. We just know the sparse trailer that we got.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to clarify too. I am not the same ilk as Fus over here. Like, he knows Pokemon inside and out.
I spent hundreds of thousands of hours in this game.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands.
I enjoyed the ones on DS, and I played the ones on Game Boy, and I recently procured Scarlet, which was a huge mistake, but I'm hopeful as a gamer. For anyone else listening, like with this kind of stuff, I don't know, just being a gamer in general and hoping for the best of a series that you don't want to see die. That was part of childhood. Yeah. Like, I'm hoping that this is going to be a good one.
I agree. I think that there's a lot of good steps that they're taking, and if they make the right calls, I think this is going to be a good game, and they're going to redeem themselves, and they'll regain the trust of the fandom. We'll see. Only time will tell. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, guys, we'll go ahead and plug our channels and stuff like that. Tyler, start with your Twitch and your Instagrams and all that.
I gotcha. So I am on Twitch at Tylerthegrey927, and my Instagram is Tylerthegrey, and I have a separate one as well called ta.barn. Make sure you're checking out the YouTubes at Tylerthegrey once again. And that's all I got to plug. Over to you, Fus.
Grey, British spelling. Don't forget that,
exactly.
Listeners. Don't forget, we don't got no American spelling over here. And I can always be found at the thefusrodab on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter X. That's TheFusrodab. You can also find me on the YouTubes at Fusrodab, FusRodab, with spaces in between. Don't forget the spaces. I need my personal space. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Sunyshore Station. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Sunyshore Station.